lot of times I'm driving, there's nothing to do, and I shuffle through the radio before I unglue. There's a lot of red on ways, it's traffic, I'm screwed, and I'm wired a bit different than a regular dude. It's not a bad thing, I embrace it, it's true. The radio don't stimulate brain chemistry fluid. The Buddha found nirvana and the Four Noble Truths. Through a meditative process, right action he proved. For me, I require the use of a tool, a detector, pin, pointer, shovel, and beach scoop. I'm meant to work the dirt with my history crew, but everywhere I look, my interest taboo. Most people choose Bieber over Tippecanoe. What does a detectorist listen to when the radio is full of bad music and news? I need an alternative for me to peruse. Beyond Sight and Sound gets fantastic reviews. A metal detecting show where my thought bubble brews. Thank you, Josh Kimmel, for inviting me to a detecting dork out with guests like yours truly.
Are you looking for a high-quality beach and sand scoop? Are you trying to take your hunting to the extreme? How about an American-based company that stands behind their product and everything they sell? Then check out our friends over at XTREME Scoops. John has been making scoops for some time now and makes a quality beach and sand scoop to take your hunting to the next level. XTREME Scoops recently released their new sand shredder that works great in the water and on the beach. And if you're a new Equinox user, you may want to check out his Surfmaster X3 that can trap those small targets you new Equinox users are finding out there. XTREME Scoop's company approach is let's do it right. So do it right, buy it once, and go to the extreme. XTREMEScoops.com. That's XTREME scoops.com.
Caution. Please do not operate motor vehicles or power equipment while under the influence of this show. Listening to this show could cause side effects such as bouts of laughter, violent binges of cabin fever, and even dreams of silver and gold. Please be advised. Now that the fine print is out of the way, on with the show.
All right, the fine print's out of the way. It's time to roll with the show. We're back and we're live once again. You are listening to Beyond Sight and Sound, metal detecting and treasure hunting radio for all the really cool digging people out there. And as I look into the chat, I can see you guys and gals are already all wired up. I don't know, people must own stock in Monster or something. See Crazy Spider in the house. Welcome aboard to John. Mike's in, the Bills, Jesse, Barb, Paul, Nelson, Chuck, Stryker, and Mindy. I know I'm missing names in there. Barb, good grief. I can't even follow the chat already. It's just flying. Good to see, definitely. So, links in the description, obviously, first and foremost, our friends over at Shooters and Prospectors, DETECTEES.com, TheRingFinders, XTREME Scoops, XP Team USA, Ohio Metal Detecting, All Metal Militia, Metal Detecting NYC, the Simplex raffle, the Swing Into Summer event there with I&I, and then, obviously, the East Coast Research and Discovery Association, their beach hunt. They're seeding 44 pounds of silver into the beach, as long as everything still goes forward. And the link for Detecting the Heartland Facebook group. Obviously, you gals and guys, you folks have seen the links. You've seen the posts. It was very sad to see the news yesterday that Detecting the Heartland had to postpone their DTH spring hunt to sometime in September now, I believe it is. And when I seen it, I saw it minutes after it was posted, and I'm like, oh, that had to have been a tough call to make. It really did. So I shot off a message. It was a little last minute, but we pulled things together anyway. And tonight we've actually got Casey Oberreuter on from Detecting the Heartland group. The man behind the scene, you could say, one of the many people behind the scene over at Detecting the Heartland, and one of the many people behind the scene and at the forefront when you're talking about the DTH hunt. So let's get him in here. Also, for those listening, if you saw the post, there may be a giveaway for those that are in the chat. Yes, that's right. We're going to see if we can manage to keep the magic smoke from slipping out once again. We're going to give it a shot. We'll see what happens. So stay tuned for that. Until then, though, let's get Casey in. How is it going tonight, Casey?
Hey, good evening, Josh. Not too bad. How about you, sir?
I'm all right. I guess first off, for those that saw the post last night, because we did put it out there shortly before midnight, I must say once again, you are the first person that I've seen to get one of the red Beyond Sight and Sound shirts, and red's not necessarily my color, but I like that combination. That's a good looking shirt.
Yeah, I like it too. It's slick.
Very, very cool. Very cool. So I thought, you know what? I can find a picture of Casey. We'll grab this one from where he entered the recurring appreciation giveaway. And that's right. What we've rolled with tonight. So I guess for those who are listening that may not realize, how long have you been in the hobby? What inspired you to get into the hobby, and what inspired you to start the group?
Oh boy, I've been in the hobby probably going on 7 years now. It's kind of a funny story how I got started with it. A few things kind of culminated together to make it happen, but my dad was visiting up here from Arizona, and he brought up his garage sale style detector that was probably $20 at a garage sale. He brought that up, and he took Minnie and I out metal detecting with it, and we literally found nothing except a memorial penny at the very end of the day. So yeah, ouch is right. But we had a blast. Just the thrill of not knowing, what we might find. Even though we didn't find anything, it was still fun. And at that same time, the Diggers were hot on TV. So we got watching those guys, KG and Ringy, and Mindy was really huge on history, even more than I was at the time. And so I ended up buying her a detector for Christmas, and then I ended up using it way more than she even used it. So it was pretty cool how it all turned out, but that's how I got started.
Wow, and I see Mindy says in chat, we found 2 pennies. It was fun.
Yeah, exactly. We went to farms and everything else, but we didn't find a whole lot.
Well, but at least it was enough that just the adventure or the excitement apparently got you hooked.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, just the thrill of not knowing what'll pop out of the ground next is just a blast. And, finding things in the ground that you never knew existed before you dug it up, you're like, whoa, what is that? And so you have to research see what the heck you just found, and that's right. Really fun. And
yeah.
Saving history in general, that otherwise is going to be buried forever. And a couple other things that keep me interested in it, is just something about getting out in the middle of nowhere a lot of times and put the headphones on, and the rest of the world is like gone instantly, and so it takes your mind off the stress of day-to-day life. And then just returning items to people that have been lost for so long is just so much fun. I think that's more of a thrill than finding the item. So.
Oh, yeah. Many times I've done a number of ring returns myself, and there really is almost kind of an addiction there when you're able to hand somebody that piece of their life back and see how much it meant to them. You know you did the right thing.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no better feeling than when you can return something like that.
Yeah, I would have to agree. So, what did you buy Mindy for Christmas that you were using? What detector did you basically start out with, and what do you use now?
Funny enough, we were never part of any groups on Facebook at that time. We didn't even know groups for detecting existed. So at that time, I just had a buddy that worked at Gander Mountain. He was a store manager. He's in the group, Nathan Eichenmeyer, and I just asked him, hey, what do you sell at Gander Mountain? And he's like, oh, we got this, this, and this. And I just said, hey, I'll take this. And I ended up buying a Technetics Gamma 6000, which very few people seem to run now that I've been into the hobby a long time. But it was an outstanding little machine, affordable, and I found a ton of stuff with that little thing.
Wow. And I imagine now you've probably upgraded to something else.
Yes, definitely. Went to the Technetics T2 limited edition for a while. I love that one too. We messed around with the Garrett AT Pro, Mindy did, and then now we both actually have the Equinoxes, the MindLab Equinoxes, and definitely a step above everything we've used, and just a great machine.
Good machines for sure. I know Crazy Spider really likes his.
Yeah, yes, he does.
He really is kind of on a roll with that machine, with the things that he's pulling up.
It's almost annoying, isn't it, at times? Oh, it's pretty funny. No, I'm glad I got him in the hobby, and I'm glad he's enjoying as much as he is.
Oh, yeah, and he does such a good job with his videos. What inspired you to start the group? How long has Detecting the Heartland been around, for those who may not have heard of it?
Yeah, it's probably about a year into detecting that we were part of I&I, which we love. I&I, outstanding group. We went to their hunts, year after year. But early on, I wanted some group that was local to where we lived there in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And there was nothing local really, that was very interactive or anything. So we started what we called Eastern Iowa Diggers at the time, and it started out slow. We had a couple hundred, 200-300 in the first year was all. But then it started to grow a little bit faster, and then we expanded to where there's a lot of folks from Wisconsin and neighboring states. So we're like, why don't we rename it, and try to bring in a few more people in the area. It's fun to see finds outside of Iowa, and everything. So we expanded, called it Detecting the Heartland, and it kind of just blew up from there. I would share it on history sites and other digging groups, and it became so interactive, and just such awesome members on there that it grew really fast, and word got around, and people joined like crazy, it seemed like.
I know it does seem like it. You have a lot of activity on your group. You really do. How many members are you up to now?
We just broke 8,500 members, and we've been really picky as far as accepting folks. Over the last probably couple of years, we make sure they answer all 3 questions, that they're not in 2,000 other groups. Just group jumpers and stuff like that. We want people that are actually interested in the hobby. So we could be well over 10,000 probably by now, but we want people that are really interested in, that are going to interact on the page.
Well, you've definitely got that. There's no debating there. You've done the DTH hunt that you do. If I remember right, this one was the 3rd year.
Yes. 3rd year, I believe, the 4th one overall.
And when you guys opened up registration to this and said you were going to cap it at 250 people, I believe, it sold out in like 4 hours. How does that happen?
Yeah, we thought it was pretty cool last year when we sold out in 24 hours. So this year, we knew there was a lot of interest leading up to it, and I had tons and tons of messages about when we're going to release the date and so on. And so we knew it'd probably sell out pretty fast like the year before, but heck, people were jumping on there instantly, and I couldn't even keep up. Mindy and I were trying to mark people's names as quick as they were commenting, but it wasn't working. Most of the spots sold out in 2-3 hours, and then the rest finished off in about 4 hours total, which is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I can recall being tagged in it, I guess, shortly after it was posted up. And I mean, by the time I got over there, you guys were already doing an alternates list because everything had sold out. It's like, wow, that was fast. So that's just testament right there to the group interaction, the contests that you guys do. When I see you welcoming members, you or any of the other admins, usually it's a batch of members. You're welcoming 4, 5, 6, 8 people at a time. And it's just comment after comment from other members. Hey, welcome to the group. Great group. So on and so forth. So it is a very interactive group.
Yes, absolutely. Can't say enough about it. All of our members. They're amazing. Just really cool. Still seems like a family on there, even though we're at so many members. That was a concern of ours early on, is if we get too big, are we going to lose that family feel and all that? So I definitely think it's held on, and each time we add new members, there's always somebody new that's awesome that joins in, and so I can't say enough about everybody that's on there. They're awesome.
Right. And definitely big shout out to your team of admins, because I'm sure it keeps everybody pretty busy, especially as interactive as they are, not only in the group, but maybe with their own pages, their own groups, or YouTube channels.
Yeah, exactly. Most of them have other groups that they branched out onto, and they're running those on top of ours. And like you said, a lot of stuff goes on behind the scenes, with our group message, talking back and forth constantly about things that are going on, or if we should delete this or allow this. And so, I can't say enough about the admins, the great job they do. And like Ray Sawyer's commenting on every single post, and which takes time, and giving away prizes for free on Friday. But even the admin that don't comment all the time, they're a huge part of it. And we rely on them for input constantly in the group message and stuff. So, I can't say enough about all of them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I know Ray's busy with his YouTube channel, not to mention the Metal Detecting Unlimited Facebook group. John's busy with his YouTube channel, and then you guys are doing the Go Lives too, showing things that you've got for contests, or even that you'll have in the hunts that you do and things like that. But we've got a caller on. Go ahead, caller.
All right.
Hey, Josh, how are you? Casey, nice to have you on the show.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
Good. I got a quick question for you, if you don't mind. I'm curious, when you go out or before you detect an area, what kind of research do you do, or what do you look for after you get there to determine where you think you might start detecting a certain area?
Yeah, I utilize a couple different resources on online to look at old maps. The DNR's website for Iowa is really good, and then there's a couple other websites that allow for overlays and such. I can't think of the one I use right now, but it's great. You can overlay and look at plat maps. You can look at 1930s, 1950s, and current day, obviously. So just trying to find the old fields that might have an old church or an old school, or even just a couple houses together, can be outstanding spots. And I do rely on actually a lot of door knocking as well. You find amazing things in people's yards, and it's fun to meet people. I've met some amazing neighbors just on my street that I would have never met otherwise, other than just door knocking and talking to them and getting to know them. So.
And you're going to get asked this. I might as well be the first, so I'm sure you're ready for it. What's your best find so far that you got, that you just about, knocked your socks off and fell backwards when you found it?
Yeah. I don't have anything like a $10,000 diamond ring, or anything like that. I've found some gold.
Oh, you wouldn't be on the show if you found that, yeah.
Well, yeah,
right.
it doesn't necessarily have to be valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
My favorite find, and it kind of involves a story behind it, but I was at an old church site on a gravel road that used to have a church there, and the church moved into town in the 1940s. So it's just been a grass lot ever since. My buddy and I went out there, and literally, you can't make this up, but the first hole I dug by a huge pile of branches was a men's gold ring. And I about died because that was my first ring I ever found detecting. This is my first or second year detecting. And the first gold ring I ever found, and it was huge, a men's ring bigger than my thumb. And I looked inside of it, and it had an inscription with initials and a date of 9506. And I got to thinking, man, nobody's been out here for 60, 70 years. It can't be 2006. So I had it researched, and sure enough, it was 1906. And then I had it for a week or two, and I got it appraised at, $150. And I never sell any of my finds. I keep them all. But I figured, well, what are the odds I could maybe find a family member of this ring? So I called the church that had moved a couple of times since the initial move, and they were in Fairfax, Iowa. And they looked at the old registration. Sure enough, the initials matched perfectly to the date of the folks that got married on 9506. They moved to the U.S. from Norway. So that was really cool, the Norwegian writing. And long story short, we were able to find the grandson of the gentleman that lost it. And so I returned it to him.
That's awesome.
That is an awesome story.
And what's even crazier is being, I dated his daughter for homecoming, so I knew the guy. So small world, it was crazy.
Yeah, I
awesome
I remember
really
that
good.
story now from DTH Return Week.
Yeah, right.
Nice. Good one. What a way to start. Good find. Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome, Casey. Well, thanks for taking my question. As Josh usual, great show. And I'm going to back out of here.
Well,
nice talking with you, Casey.
Hang in there, Striker. I mean, since you're already here.
Okay.
Are you ready to try and blow up the chat?
Of course.
We've actually got a additional surprise for a lucky person tonight. Obviously, they once again, Striker wants to see if we can make the magic smoke come out. So we're gonna do another guess the number in the chat, but don't get crazy with it, folks. Don't get crazy with it. Give him time to follow the numbers. We don't want to make this look like a Vegas slot machine or anything necessarily, because I saw it the last time, and that was really something to watch. So,
oh, look at these guys putting out numbers already. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to disqualify them. Okay. Well, thanks to Josh and everyone in his show. I thought I'd do another one. I'm going to be giving away another T-shirt tonight. And, of course, Josh knows the number. And so what we're going to do is when I say go, it's going to be between one. I'm sorry, what?
I said not yet in the chat.
That's right. Yeah, not yet. Not yet. And when I say stop, please stop, because I got to scroll all the way down to the bottom and, check all the numbers to see who got it first. So the number is going to be through 1 through 75, and when you get a chance, go.
So now we can let them go. Well, we'll see what happens with it this time. Hopefully they don't knock us error or anything. We'll see how it goes. Hopefully they get to it. And the shirts do look very nice, by the way, Striker. I've seen Aggie's post. She posted up about her recent win, and obviously Tam posted up yesterday, I believe it was, that she received her shirt. She likes it very, very much. And there's been
very nice. Thank you.
Quite a number of comments on them, too. People like them. They're sharp-looking shirts. And while they're going at it in the chat and you're watching that, speaking of finds, Stryker made himself a nice find today. Go over and check out his Facebook page. A nice belt buckle there. And I believe one of the listeners in the chat, Nelson, just posted up the other day. He has hit his third GW button since January this year.
Wow. Awesome. Wow. Hey, I'll trade him a belt buckle for it.
I mean, that's phenomenal. I mean, people are joking with him, saying we may have to change your name to Dave Wise.
Unbelievable.
And he's
okay. Can I get you guys to go ahead? I'm sorry. I was going to get him to stop. Let me check because a couple of them ripped through.
All right. Well, we'll tell him to slow it down there, stop, and give you a chance to check the numbers. And if they haven't hit it yet, then we'll let them continue after that. But so everybody quit guessing numbers, let him check and see, and we'll continue on from there. But yeah, Nelson had found all three of these GW buttons basically have came out of one field. So if I were him, I think I'd be spending quite a bit more time on that field, looking to see if I can get lucky enough to pull up a fourth one. I mean, some of us hunt...
Set a 10 up out there.
Yeah, some of us could hunt, years and years and years and never find a GW button. And he's gotten 3 of them this year. Never hit them before, but he's hit 3 this year, so he's on a hot streak for those buttons. Good job on his part. Kudos to him.
It's funny how the hobby works that way. Sometimes you can find 5 of one thing in a year and not find another one the rest of your life.
Right, yeah, I kind of see that myself, too, from time to time. Like somebody, all of a sudden, one year it seems like they're hitting padlocks left and right, or pocket watches. Yeah. And you just, some people, you never see them post so many, and then all of a sudden they're on to something else. Maybe it's crotal bells, maybe it's rings, maybe it's necklaces. You just never know. Right. And we all go ahead.
I was going to say, I ended up finding 4 sterling silver scout rings all in the same year, 4 different permissions.
That's right.
Haven't found one since.
Right, and I find a number of Scout-related items myself, but I've not been able to find one of the Scout rings yet, let alone a nice silver one. I mean, I remember you posting them up, and those are definitely nice.
That's just crazy.
Right, and did you, I know you said you had found them all in the same year. Did you find them in a relatively short time frame of the year, or were they kind of spread out through the year?
A little bit spread out. I found 1 in Des Moines, 3 in Cedar Rapids, and the 3 in Cedar Rapids were all within about probably a month and a half. I found one week and one the next week, only about 5 doors apart from each other. And I ended up waiting a couple of weeks before posting. Yeah, all different houses, yep.
Wow.
Crazy. I didn't think people would believe me, so I waited a little bit between posting the 2 of them.
Right. Yeah, unfortunately, there are some people out there that just love to say, oh, well, that looks like the one you just posted the other day.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Hey, Josh, we have a winner.
We do? Okay. Well, who is the lucky person?
The number was 48. And it was done by Elusive.
Oh, well, this should be interesting because I'm not sure that they're on my friends list on Facebook. So we may have to give them your email address to get in contact with you. I don't know if they're on Facebook or not.
Yeah, I think I said it right. ELUSIVE?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it is. So I guess we're going to have to let them know, or maybe we can find out if they're on Facebook. If not, we're going to have to let them know how they can claim their prize.
They can contact me through craigmstriker on Facebook or craigmstriker@gmail.com. And I need their address and their size.
Yes, and their shirt size. And a photo when they receive the item.
Yeah.
A photo when they receive the item is always appreciated, too.
Yeah, that'd be nice since I send it COD. That'd be cool.
Right. Well, it's certainly, it's always appreciated to kind of see that post up, know that they got their prize and that they appreciate it and everything, because it is good fun that we do. But I don't know. I haven't seen. Have they posted in the chat whether they're on Facebook?
No. I've been looking for it. I haven't seen any posts from them. Oh, it says no Facebook here.
Okay.
Are you in the United States?
I would say for the point in time that they're in there, they are in the U.S.
Okay. All right.
They are about half.
Okay, wait. You just say he just said no Facebook.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll post my email.
Well, let's hope that. I mean, I would say he or she actually is in the U.S. because I did not put in the post that they have to be a resident of the lower 48 this time.
Right.
So we'll see here. I know we do have some listeners that they're not coming in through Facebook, like Bob Drake. He's an introvert. He does not like Facebook. Facebook is evil.
Oh, okay. Well, it's something him and my ex-wife have in common. They're both evil.
But yeah, if as long as Elusive is in the lower 48 there, they need to let us know so that we can get that email address posted so that they can get you their shipping information.
Yeah,
I posted it on there.
In Montana.
That's beautiful.
Did you say Montana, Casey?
Yeah, Mindy said he commented that they're in Montana.
Nice, beautiful scenery up there.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'll just drop the T-shirt off personally and do some hunting.
Right? Yeah, you never know. Well, also, do you have an email address that you can be reached at, Casey?
Yeah, detectingtheheartland@gmail.
Okay, maybe Mindy can put that in the chat for us because Elusive also won themselves a Detecting the Heartland hat.
Yep, absolutely.
So
hey, Elusive just invited me to come on out. I might bring 2 T-shirts.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, that might even be worth, throwing a few stickers in or something, because those stickers are pretty sharp too.
A couple of hats. Right. Well, I'm going to give him his choice. If he lets me know now. He can get a hat or a T-shirt. So he's got his choice. So because that's awesome.
Right? Yeah. Sounds like, who knows? Maybe you've got a road trip coming up.
There you go. Well, I'm going to back out of here, Josh. As usual, great show. Casey, it was a pleasure talking with you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes.
You too.
Thanks for the call, Striker. Thanks for the giveaway. Elusive, get your shipping information off to Striker via email so that he can get that shirt out to you or show up on your doorstep with it, whichever happens. I'm not sure there. And if Mindy's got the email in there for Casey, detectingtheheartland@gmail.com, make sure and shoot an email off to them while you're in your email, and they'll get a Detecting the Heartland hat out to you, which is kind of a hot commodity right now. They're getting a little hard to find.
That's right.
Well, hang on. No, wait a minute. No, Casey. I mean, I'll trade you a T-shirt or a hat for one of your hats.
Sure, definitely. I'm down. Yeah.
How's that?
Well, now see how quick that went down, how that worked out. I guess you're going to have to pull that email address out of the chat too then, Striker.
I got a feeling Casey and I is going to take a trip to Montana. I don't know, but it's like a gut feeling right now. So.
Yeah, I'm in. There's not much virus up in Montana, I don't think.
Yeah, listen.
Yeah, I can't get in trouble out there, so my wife will let me go. So.
There you go. Well, you guys will have to exchange address information too sometime after the show.
Yeah, I'm going to need your address from you, Casey. So you let me know what you want, a hat or a T-shirt, and I'll kick that out for you. I'll do a trade with you.
All right, we'll do.
Okay, buddy. Again, Josh, great show. Casey, thank you. I'm going to back out of here.
All right. Thanks for your call, Striker.
You bet, buddy. Bye.
Well, there's another giveaway for the lucky listeners in the chat there. Sounds like Elusive was the winner this time. First time winner on the show. Got themselves a shirt from Team Striker and a Detecting the Heartland hat. Very, very cool. Very cool. Because normally those, I don't know, you guys sell them or give them away in contests or how you do it, but I see them show up from time to time.
Yeah, right. And we have a few left, and then we'll be placing a big order here in the coming weeks for the people that keep asking for them, and then I'll mail them out.
Right. You do seem to get quite a bit of activity on that stuff. I mean, I see people post them up, and usually there's a number of comments after it, and I guess Elusive may want to think about joining Facebook in the Detecting the Heartland group, because occasionally when you guys have contests, you do allow extra entries for those who have the Detecting the Heartland swag.
Yep, exactly.
So they, who knows, that may be the thing that pushes them over the edge and finally gets them to come over to Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. That'd be nice.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with that at all. And let's see here. We had, yep, I think we've got him. We've got a caller here that's itching to speak with you. Casey, go ahead, caller.
Well, I don't know about itching, but
who let him in?
You know, if we're gonna go to Montana, we got to stop at Anaconda.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Sounds like the road trip's growing then, and Crazy Spider's throwing in too.
Oh yeah. Hey, got a few questions for you, Casey.
All right.
All right. So. First off, you got to tell the story about the ring park that you, me, and Roger found.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
No problem. I thought the gold ring recovery return was going to be the craziest story I had. But I do have one that might top that. And John, Crazy Spider, and Roger Harris called me up and asked if I wanted to join. It was in the middle of summer, so really hot. All the lawns were too dry to be digging in. So we ended up saying, let's go to the beach over by Coralville, the reservoir, and we'll do some beach hunting. And I was like, oh, yeah, that sounds good. Oh, we didn't think about it. We got close to the beach, and it was during the big flood where all the waters were high, so we couldn't even detect the beach because it was underwater. So on a whim, Roger says, oh, hey, there's this lake being drained, 50 miles away. I've been thinking about stopping to try to get permission there. And so we're like, well, yeah, we don't have anywhere else to go. Let's do it. And so we took the road trip to that park and got permission from the camp leader there. And it's normally a lake that you can't detect on, but she allowed us to go on there since it's being drained. She said, yeah, have fun. So we went. Between the three of us, we found well over 400 clad coins, not a single silver, but it was just loaded with clad.
Good grief.
Oh, it was unreal. It was on a grass hill near the beach. And John started the fun by finding a silver ring. And he's like, oh, yeah, I got a silver ring, And then Roger Harris, half hour later, I got a silver ring too, so they both had a ring on the board, and I'm still swinging, pulling up clad, and I finally hit a ring too, and it was kind of a junker ring. Well, I ended up finding 5 or 6 rings, all within
7.
an hour and a half. 7, okay, 7, sorry. John remembers well. He was getting annoyed by the end of it. Ended up finding 7 total rings, which is unbelievable in one day. Well, one of the last ones I found was a gold ring. The rest of them were silver or else junkers. And it was a lady's gold ring, and it was just beautiful. Had a red jewel in it, and it was a class ring, and it had 1984 on it. So a 1984 women's class ring. And it was for Norway High School, which is only 5 miles from where I grew up on my farm when I was young. So I was like, oh, that's cool. That high school's been gone for 20 plus years. But I bet we could find the owner pretty easily. It had initials on it and everything. So, Cindy Nelson, who's in our group, knows the librarian that taught at that Norway High School back in the day. And she's like, I'll reach out to her and see what we can figure out. And she messages me back just, literally 10 minutes later, and she's like, yeah, she knows exactly who it is. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And she goes, it belongs to Lori Ann Himmelsbach. And I was like, okay, cool, how can we get a hold of her? And, well, she goes, just wait, and she goes, there's something even crazier. And she goes, she now goes by the name of Lori Ann Oberreuter. And I was like, oh, come on, you gotta be kidding me. So she married into my family, my cousin, 30-some years ago. So I've known her my entire life. And she lost this thing 30 years ago at this park, and she remembered losing it. She just didn't know where she lost it. And so I returned it to her, but I just about died when Cindy told me who it belonged to.
Right, yeah, small world, right?
Yeah, somebody said I'd be more likely to get struck by lightning 10 times, and I think they're right. That's just unbelievable.
Right, yeah, you should have bought a lottery ticket that day, apparently.
Right, I'm just glad I had 2 witnesses there. Otherwise, I don't think people would believe me.
Right, yeah, going, wait a minute, that's just too far-fetched.
Oh, I know, absolutely.
Wow, another great story. Well, see, John's got the lowdown on you then, apparently.
Yeah, I think 1 or 2 of those rings was actually on a return trip, but I think you got about 7 out of there total between the few trips we took.
Yep, that sounds right, yep.
Wow. Casey, what are your top 3 white whales?
Oh, there's so many.
That's why I put 3, because I need to name just 1.
Yeah, right. Feasible finds that aren't too crazy out of this world, I'd say a Morgan dollar. I'd really like to find some trench art of any kind, Civil War trench art, or really any war trench art, because it's just so unique.
It is cool.
Yes, I'd love to find one of those. Shout out to David Stone on that one. He sent me a framed trench art piece, just out of the blue, and because he knew that was one of my bucket listers, and so it's hanging on my wall. So another awesome member, just doing things. Great people. Boy, gold coin, I suppose, would definitely be the other one. Oh, love token. Yeah, Mindy reminded me. A love token's one that I've always wanted to find that isn't too impossible.
Yeah, I would say that should be fairly feasible.
Yeah.
Wow.
So a 2-parter. This will be the last question I have for you. 2-parter. So first, and neither one of these has to do with each other. So first, who is like the one person that you really want to hunt with, like a dream guest hunter to go
Crazy Spider Adventures.
He does that all the time. He doesn't want to do that anymore.
He's overrated. Oh boy, that's a tough one.
Well, if there's a couple of them.
I'd say KG and Ring. I think they'd be a blast to hang out with for a day.
Oh, they're
one of the big reasons we got into the hobby.
Okay, so that's
then,
the first part.
Yep, and then I know you're planning a trip that is likely getting canceled later this year, but what is your top dream location? I don't know if that's necessarily it, but what would that place be?
Oh, yeah, John, speaking of Scotland, Mindy and I have been planning a trip to Scotland and saving up for it for a couple of years. But
Oh, now how cool would that be?
Oh, yeah, Wayne Miles, who's one of the founding members in our group, really, he's been around forever. He owns land that has several castles over there. I don't own the permission on all of it, and he lives really nearby. So he said he'd put us up for the week. We don't have to worry about paying for anything. And so that was the plan this September, but with the virus and everything and the spring hunt being moved, we may just have to put it off one more year. But so that was definitely, like John said, that's one of our dream spots to hunt. Otherwise, probably just a Civil War battle site, one of the famous ones, even if, right now you can't get permission, just being able to have permission to go out there and detect would be awesome.
Good answers, but super, super tough questions.
Yeah, no kidding. Kidding. Put me on the spot.
I had to throw some screwballs at him. No,
right, here I was telling him, oh yeah, it'll be relatively simple, it'll be painless, no worries, and wow.
No, so if none of you have had an opportunity to meet Casey or Mindy or Evie or any of the admin team, these guys are, I can't say enough about their family. They're super generous, and if you've been active or any part of the group at any time, where you're really paying attention to what's going on, you'll see a lot of that generosity and a lot of that just family atmosphere that they build. We don't, have that drama and all that, and they're a big part of having that culture built in that group and detecting the Heartland. And I know groups like INI and whatnot, we're all very similar in that same way, which is really cool. And I'm glad our groups really get along, and I look forward to a lot of things we can do together, down the road. I think that's always a possibility, but, I just can't say enough about Casey and Mindy and whatnot. Casey has grown into one of my best friends, and I can't say enough about him. Got to get a little sappy on you there, sir.
Well, nothing wrong with
right
that.
Back at you.
Nothing wrong with that at all, definitely.
Yep. But I'll let you get back to your show.
Hey, wait a minute, John. Don't leave.
Wait a minute, John. Don't leave.
Oh, no. Don't leave. Don't leave.
I was just going to say, I bet you Chuck's going to be calling here.
Yep.
Yeah, he's going to run off on me.
You thought you were getting away.
All right,
yeah. I don't know. I just made you stay on just for the heck of it.
Okay, that's fine.
There you go. And then Casey, I was sitting there thinking, oh, he'll say me. He wants to hunt with. Then he says KG and Ringy.
You too, Chuck. You too. You're usually with them anyway.
I know it.
You lost your opportunity.
I've had a great opportunity to go out with them quite a bit. But anyway, you may get to do that yet. We're still keeping our fingers crossed. We'll have the swing in the summer hunt, but I don't know. We'll see how that goes. I'm an optimist.
Yeah. There's still a little time left before that decision.
Now, you didn't make up your mind on the new hunt date yet.
We are leaning towards Labor Day weekend, first weekend in September. Nothing set in stone. We'll decide probably this coming
that's
weekend.
Doable. That's doable. So, and that's pretty cool. And so when you coming over this way, John, again?
Well, with the virus and all that, I didn't know if you were planning on doing anything or not. I didn't want to put you in that position. So just, I guess. Whenever,
I might have a spot out near Anamosa to go to.
Okay. Yeah, no, just get with me, and I'll get you my dates that I'm available.
But Casey can't go.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
He didn't say my name.
Right, yeah. Skipped right past the legend for Ringy and KG.
But Mindy is always welcome. Always.
She'll join you. Yeah, she'll join you.
Well, Casey's kind of Ringy Jr. with how many rings he finds. And I don't know if you knew it, Chuck. A little trivia. him and Ringy grew up on the same street in Cedar Rapids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's where he rubbed
that.
off on Casey.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. Must be on a lucky corner there somewhere. Because he lived in Davenport till he was 7, 8 years old, 9, and then they moved. I don't know. He comes back to Davenport. His mom doesn't live too far out in this area, and he's back quite often.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, pretty good guy. And Carla is a very nice lady. So,
Yeah.
but
No,
I just
the
called
only thing
in.
wrong with him is he is a Hawk fan.
You said what?
The only thing wrong with him is he's a Hawk fan.
That's right. But there's one thing worse.
Uh-oh.
Iowa State.
I saw that coming.
No. You guys don't play hockey. That's the problem.
Well,
Gotta play hockey.
how can you argue that?
That's right. That's right. So anyway, keep me posted on the date and that kind of stuff, and everything still stands what I said we're going to do, and maybe a few more things, and see how that all works out.
Sounds good.
Give a shout out. A lot of the people that detecting the Heartland give me a call, and they get a lot of stuff from me, and I appreciate that very much. And they're a good group, and they're good all over the Midwest and all over the country. And we've got some very good groups through this area, and family oriented, and that's the way I like it. And then Josh's show, as far as I'm concerned, top notch. It's the best on Spreaker, and good people out there.
A lot of good
We have a
listeners
great
in
time.
the chat.
Absolutely.
Yep. So try to get you guys to listen in more often. John's on there quite a bit now.
Yes, he is. Yes, he
Oh,
is.
yeah. And if I miss it, I do listen in.
He'll
Yep.
be a co-host in no time.
Yes, he does. He does listen in and check the archives. Matter of fact, I sent him a highlight the other day of some of your bear encounter stories.
Yes, so now I know the stories.
Yeah, there's one that actually left me uneasy. I mean, that it takes a lot to do that, and that one left me pretty uneasy afterwards.
Yeah, my adrenaline would definitely be going.
Well,
Right.
there's a lot of things going. But,
Oh, yeah.
We'll talk about that on some other bear story night.
There you go.
Casey, I'm going to tell you one quick story. You haven't lived till you had this happen. You guys need to go down to the beaches in the Caribbean. I'm here to tell you. Okay? You and Mindy need to go down there hunting one time, if you ever get the chance. I've hunted many times. I've dove down there. But one of the first times that I was in Cancun in '84, and that's when it was really starting to open up. And I was out on the beach, and we stayed, remember, Casa de Maya, I think it was called, hotel on the beach. And I get up real early in the morning at sunrise, and I go out and detect the beach side. There's the lagoon side across the other way, but the beach side is where I was working. And I'm out there, and I've turned, I've got kind of the sun to my back, and I'm bent down, and you didn't have these sand scoops we got today. You got these handheld things, and I'm scooping away, and I'm digging, and I notice a shadow come across me, and this gal is bent over the top of me. She's like, "What are you doing? What are you looking for?" And I turn around, she's topless. I turned right around. Guess what I was facing? I could not speak. The true story. It takes a lot for me to be at a loss for words, let me tell you. And
That's true.
I had it in my hand. I had a 2 peso or something like that in my hand, and I showed her. She says, "Well, that's kind of neat." And I just kind of turned around, and about that time, I look over to the left, and I see Jill walking my way. And I'm like, "Oh, this is not going to be good."
Right, this isn't going to end well.
Come up, And she'd seen that gal kind of walk over and lay down on a deal there, and she says, "What you all red in the face for?" I said, Did you see that? I couldn't even tell you what she looked like, to be honest. And she said, "Why?" I said, "She leaned over the top of me, and she said, 'What are you looking at?' She kind of half startled me. I turned around, and I'm looking right in her boobs. I'll keep it as family friendly as I can, and I did not know what to say. She said, "You're still red in the face." I said, "Yeah." So you haven't lived till you went through that.
That's fair enough.
Right? Little awkward there.
Oh, that's funny.
I didn't know what to say at that point. I just stopped, and Jill started laughing. She said, "Which one was it?" I said, "The one laying over there with just the bikini bottoms on." I said, "You can pick her out of the crowd." So if you get to go overseas to England, don't expect to run into that.
Right.
True. Definitely.
Casey, when are we going to Casa de Maya?
Spring break.
Yep,
Okay.
That was the high point of that trip. I'll tell you, I found a lot of stuff, but
Yeah, I found a little more than you bargained
that's one of the
for.
better thoughts that stand out in your memory. I understand.
Right? Yeah, that'll do it.
That's the fun part of it. And, when I started doing this, people looked at you like you were kind of half crazy back in the very early 70s and shake their heads and that kind of stuff. And as it went along to what we have today, in comparison, I mean, it was a very niche group of people. And today we have such a wide family of detector people out there today. It's totally changed the scope of it, and with the YouTube channels and the internet and all the groups and the radio shows and the TV shows, and it's brought it to full light what you can do. So it's been a good time all the way through, and you get to meet guys like Casey and Mindy and John and all the other people, and you work with them and through that, and I like to have my people that work with me succeed, and it's fun to watch that. It's watch you guys grow and learn.
Absolutely. Well, that's you've certainly got them stirred up in the chat there, Chuck.
I can only imagine.
It'll make you think, I'll tell you that.
Right, yeah.
I'd much rather run into that last story I just gave you than a bear.
Right, yeah, there's probably a few people that'll be listening to the archives going, "What's the timestamp on this?" I'm going back and checking out the chat.
Yeah, I'm watching some of the comments.
I was going to say, Josh might have his hands full with some of the edits he has to do now.
Somebody just said, I think it was Stryker said it was my best find. Well, it was different for sure, but that's cool. And so, Casey, keep us posted on when you redo the date for that, and we'll have a good time at that one. I hope the June hunt gets to go off, and we can only hope for that. And everybody stay safe out there. I'll get out of here, Josh, and we'll be listening. And then Barb's got to do her show. Is that going to probably be coming up soon?
Yeah, probably. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe sometime here in the next few weeks.
And that'll be a good show. But and Mike Lackomet asked, "Did I have a camera?" No. And I don't think I would have remembered if I had a camera at that point.
Right, yeah. At that point, he probably forgot he had the beach detector.
Well, and I'm not talking this gal was 10 feet behind me. She was leaned right over the top of me when I turned around. I mean, literally looking down, and I turned, oh, my God. Wait a minute. Did this really happen? That's the first thought. What? Oh, my God, where's Jill? She's going to kill me.
Right. I'm not making it back home.
That was a lot of fun. That's a very favorite memory. So
we've definitely had some interesting stories shared tonight.
Yeah, but that's one that puts a smile on your face.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people grinning and laughing in the chat right now.
And I actually had the chance. Stu Auerbach from Calico. Stu and I got to know the gentleman and was with him quite a bit there, and I relayed that story to him. And I thought I was going to have to pick him up off the floor. He said, that's almost as good as finding a gold coin, he said.
Wow.
All I can do is sit here and grin and let you guys wish it had happened to you. That's something that, was a lot of fun. But Jill said she said I was blushed red for about 30 minutes. She sat there and laughed at me. She thought that was funny. I'm like, well, yeah, maybe. So, all right. I'll back out of here. You guys have a great night. Let's get out and do some detecting. Be safe out there and wear those masks, okay? Especially going into the stores and being around people.
Yep, I'll talk to you soon, Chuck.
All right, John, we'll get together. And Casey, you need to up the ante if you want to come with John and I.
All right.
Hats, T-shirts, what do you need, John? Okay. Everybody have a good night.
All right. Thanks for the call, Chuck.
Bye-bye.
All right, I'm going to back out now. On my way back out, I'm going to leave one little blip for Casey to talk about after I'm off the air here. The last two SLQs we found and kind of the funny story on the second one after the first one.
Okay, so it sounds like we're not quite done with our crazy stories.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
All right, thanks for the call, John.
Bye.
All right, so apparently we've got a story about some standing liberties.
Oh, yeah. We were just doing some door knocking in Atkins, Iowa, and we got a couple no's and no people home, and then I finally got a permission late in the day. And, of course, I do all the door knocking for John. He just stays in the car and hangs out. So I got the permission, and, of course, I got a couple buffs. And then he got a Washington quarter, and first he pulled up we knew it was a quarter, and I jokingly said, "Oh yeah, I bet it's an SLQ, your first one ever." And so he rubs it off, and sure enough, there it is, boom, the SLQ, and so we're all kind of freaking out, and that he finally got one of those, and I predicted that he'd find it, and then maybe a month later is all. We were doing another door knock in another town, and I got another permission right off the bat. And I wasn't finding anything that day for some reason. And he found like 5 V-nickels, which is highly unlikely to happen.
Wow.
And I found like 1 buffalo again. It was a bad day for me. I got like a cigar token, and that was about it. And then right before dark, like we're just swinging as quick as I can, trying to cover some ground before he lost daylight, and he says, "Oh, I got another good hit over here," and he pulled up a memorial penny. I'm like, "Oh, that was real great," giving him some crap, and so he went over the hole again, and the good signal's still there. So he pulls up another coin, and it happens to be a silver quarter. You could tell right off the bat it's silver, and I said, "Oh yeah, watch, it'll be another SLQ," and he's like, "Oh yeah, right, I wish," and so he wipes it off, and sure enough, there's another standing liberty just not even a month later on another one of my permissions that I got for him. So he was killing it that day, and almost to the point of being annoying.
Right, yeah. I mean, he's tearing it up. Kudos to him.
Yeah, I couldn't do anything right that day, and he was just killing it.
Well, you know how it goes, though. Some days you're able to get your coil over it, and other days you just can't get your coil over it if it was the broadside of a barn.
Yeah, absolutely right. No, I was happy for him. It was cool.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think I may have even seen that on video, maybe over on his YouTube channel, Crazy Spider Adventures.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. So we have ran on a little bit, but before we go, I still want to cover, what goes into the planning for an event, the scale and caliber that you do, and not only that, but I mean, yesterday you made the post that unfortunately we're going to have to postpone the Detecting the Heartland hunt to sometime in September. That had to have been tough to do.
Right, absolutely. It stinks, really. Just like you said, overall disappointment. Trying to put it off as long as we could, hoping things would turn around, and I know so many members have been looking forward to it really since winter. They've just been counting the days, and for many people, it's their vacation for the year. In certain circumstances, it's their one time to get away from work and everything, and then having to cancel, just is rough. And of course the kids, that we have upwards of 50 kids that come every year, and we try to spend a lot of money and make it really a big event for the kiddos, get them interested in the hobby, and some have come year after year to the hunt, and so I've been told, it's like a Christmas and spring for the kids. They look forward to it so much. So it hurts, that they won't be able to be there too. But hopefully most of them will be able to make it to the rescheduled hunt. If they don't, we're going to obviously refund their money, which gets a little complicated since I've spent a lot of it on, the expenses associated with the hunt and the prizes and the camp fees and all that. But we definitely have enough to satisfy the folks that won't be able to make it. But as far as putting all the work into it, like you said, there's a lot that goes on. I try to do a lot of it on my own, but Kelly, admin, helps a lot as far as getting a hold of Garrett and Mind Lab and getting stuff for the kids. And but finding a location is always key for us. We try to find a location that's not just a public park that has been hammered by Detectors and a ton of junk. We try to find a location that, like scout camps are great locations. Usually silver's found and other good stuff.
Oh yeah.
So we like to take the time to go beyond. Like Chris Detbarn is huge as far as that goes. He helps us track down these locations and talks to the people and kind of gets the process started, and even scores the permission sometimes for me too. So most of the time. So having him help out with that is huge. But like you said, there's just so much. Getting a list, announcing the registration, updating the list, updating the payments, contacting folks for the payments, selling raffle tickets, keeping track of who buys what raffle tickets. The waiting list changes every single day, and then you got to contact, once somebody falls out, you got to contact that, the next person in line and wait for them to answer. And I just get tons of messages. I'm so bad about replying to messages sometimes, because sometimes I'll have 15, 20.
Right,
and I just don't wanna,
backlogged.
Yeah, right, a backlog, yeah. So late in the day, I'll usually respond to them, and stuff. But just trying to get questions answered as far as hotels in the area, parking, festivities that are going on during the day, just tons of messages. It's crazy. When you think about over 200 people, messaging about what's going on, and then contacting the detecting companies, and they're always so busy. It takes time to get a hold of someone and get everything lined up that way.
Absolutely.
And I'm trying to think of other stuff. Oh, like obviously buying all the prizes and buying all the coins for the hunts and raffle prizes and distributing the money, like trying to decide, okay, what should we put in the raffle? What should we put in the seeded hunt? What should we have as cash prizes that people find during the open hunt? We got the night pinpointer hunt, which is fun. We got to decide what you want to put into that. So there's just a lot of thinking involved to try to make it the most fun for everybody and try to keep things fresh. We try to do something different each year. Like this year, we'll have in our main seeded hunt, we're going to have a a bunch of keys out there, but only one key is going to unlock the treasure chest that we have that has a brand new detector and a pinpointer and a bunch of silver, and that type of stuff in it. So just trying to keep things fresh is what we try to do too, and lining up the catering company, the meet and greet location, and food for the Friday night meet and greet. So it just goes on and on. A lot of stuff involved. So like you said, it's kind of frustrating having to change everything last minute, but it'll work out in the end. It always does.
Right. People have to realize, though, obviously, with this particular situation with coronavirus and everything, your hands were literally tied. You didn't have an option.
Right, exactly. Literally the safety of everyone's on the line. So, yeah, and obviously the laws against having groups.
Right, yeah, no gatherings larger than 10, let alone 250. I'm pretty sure you guys fall outside of the guidelines.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, oh, and I forgot one thing, when you're looking for locations for these hunts, you got to have somewhere that has enough room for not only the 250 people, but room for, like, our sponsor, Nokta Makro, to have their tent and their test garden, have space for them, have space for XP Team USA. They're awesome. They came last year. They're coming this year. And obviously Chuck Smalley is always there every year. He's supported us since the beginning. So you got to have room for all these other guys in their tents and tables and such too. So you can't just choose any location.
Right, yeah. A lot has to go into the planning of it and all of that, and then to have it come up to where you've got to make that call. That was definitely not the news that a lot of people were hoping to hear, I'm sure.
Right.
But it is for everyone's best interests, and the way it sounds, it's going to be, we're not canceling it, it's just moving to the fall.
Yep, right, exactly.
People have just got to give time to get the date down, basically.
Yeah, and it seems like so much stuff is being transferred to fall that fall's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would have to agree, definitely. Hopefully it is. Hopefully they're able to get a grip on this stuff pretty soon, and it is for everyone's best interests. So I guess there's some consolation there, but man, I really hope that that's not going to, I wouldn't think it's going to really affect attendance all that much for you guys. I've always heard high remarks about the Detecting the Heartland events and everything. Everybody seems to really enjoy themselves. Like you said, you've got a lot of good people behind it, planning it, putting it together, and a lot of good people showing up and being there in attendance to partake in the hunts, and definitely a good thing you're doing.
Right, thank you. Yeah, and a lot of it is just having such good people all together. It's crazy in this hobby. I don't think I've ever met somebody that's not like a genuinely good person. So it's pretty crazy how great people are in the hobby and nice they are. And we've done fundraisers on the page, and people just team up together, and it's amazing what people do, in the hobby. They're just selfless and donate, and it's really, really cool.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Generally, for the most part, we are a very generous group of people, very friendly, helpful group of people. It's not to say that there aren't some of us out there giving a black eye, but there's plenty more of us that aren't.
Right, exactly.
I think we're counteracting that pretty well. Well.
Yeah. And as far as attendance, it's kind of funny, since I announced it, I think my waiting list has gone from 15 or so all the way up to like 25, 30 people that are now on the waiting list because they couldn't make it in the spring, but now they could make it in the fall. So I don't think we're going to have any problem filling in the spots that we lose.
Good point. Yeah, maybe those dates work better for some people, and it may wind up increasing activity for you.
Yeah, right. It's gotten longer waiting list-wise, that's for sure.
Wow. Well, definitely kudos to you with everything that you guys are doing with the group and with the DTH hunts. I know there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes to put these together. And for people that just show up and attend and they're there to dig and then they leave at the end of the day, a lot of times they may not realize how much time and effort is put into the planning and actually putting together the event and getting it to move seamlessly with no problems or anything. And then all the work that goes on after it, just cleaning up after it and starting to plan for the next one. Because many times, especially with one like this, I'm sure, you know, the day after the event, maybe the week after the event, you guys are already starting to plan for the next one. Hey, we could do this different, or maybe we should do this next time, or
exactly.
You know, we got to start getting things lined up for the next one.
Right. Yep. Exactly right.
So there's a lot that goes into it, but definitely hats off to you. It had to be a tough call to make. I'm sure you were not happy about it at all. And we were kind of sad to see the news ourselves too. But you're doing a great job over there. Definitely keep up the good work. And we certainly appreciate you for taking the time to sit down with us tonight and share some of these great stories that we had tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. I've been thinking about asking to join at some point anyway, so that worked out great.
Hey, yeah, there you go. Definitely. Is there anything else any other pages, anything like that you'd like to plug before we get out of here?
No, I don't think so right offhand. Other than, like you said, Ray Sawyer's page, you know, he's starting that up. Detecting Unlimited and
Metal Detecting Unlimited.
What he does enough for the page and of course thank all of our sponsors in the group, Chuck Smalley and Heath Jones and Brian Harvey and all those guys for what they do for the hunt too, and Nokta and Makro for sponsoring us. They were super generous as a sponsor, and everybody else that helps out with the hunt.
Nice. Well, we certainly appreciate you for taking the time tonight. Hang in there with me for a few minutes and we'll get out of here.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Jess.
All right, for everyone else, obviously, Casey from over at Detecting the Heartland, certainly a great guy to talk to and a lot of very, very good stories shared tonight by him, and we do truly appreciate it. I mean, in this time that we're dealing with right now, we're all kind of locked up indoors. It has made kind of getting a hold of guests a little bit easier because everybody's schedule is open pretty much. But either way, we certainly appreciate him for taking the time and everyone being in the chat. Hopefully everyone had a good time there. Make sure and check out Detecting the Heartland Facebook group. Obviously, the link is in with the other links. I think the link's in the chat as well. Crazy Spider Adventures, Shooters and Prospectors, Team Striker. There's a lot of links out there. You folks know where to find them. You can find them in the show description. You can find them on iHeart, iTunes, Facebook, YouTube, Ohio Metal Detecting, all of that. So if you enjoyed the show, make sure and throw us a like. You can follow us here on Facebook, Spreaker, many of the other wonderful groups out there, such as Detecting the Heartland and Metal Detecting Unlimited. I know I want to say they're celebrating 700 or 800 members over there now already. The group's really growing. Until the next time, though, we gotta roll. Have a wonderful night, folks, and we'll see you maybe on the next one. Maybe. Sunday may be an archive. We'll see what happens. Have a wonderful evening, folks. We're out of here.